Hi everyone, I'm Miss Laura. Welcome back to another Fresh Look Friday where I show you some of our brand new books. So I'm going to talk about some elementary age books today. I have 4 different ones to show you, and I'm going to start with a book that I don't have the physical copy of because I listened to it on Libby, one of our free apps. It's called Gone to the Woods, so I have it here on my phone. It's by Gary Paulsen. It's actually a biography or a memoir. Gary Paulsen, you might know, wrote Hatchet. It's a very popular book about survival. I love Hatchet, and Gary Paulsen has a lot of memoirs. This one is his newest one. It just came out, and it's about his childhood. So, Gone to the Woods, Surviving a Lost Childhood. I did not know this about him, but he had a very, very hard childhood. So this book covers ages 5 to 17. It starts when he's in Chicago with his mom, and his mom is not the greatest mom in the world. She drinks a lot and takes him to bars, and he sings for candy and hamburgers as a 5-year-old. His grandmother found out about this, was not happy, and shipped him off to a farm to live with his aunt and uncle. So a good portion of this book is him living on a farm with his aunt and uncle when he's 5 and 6. It was riveting. It read like a chapter book. It did not read like a nonfiction book or a biography. It read like a story. It was wonderful. It was very hard to put down, and I highly recommend listening to it. The narrator does a great job. So he lives on a farm, and then he ends up going back to live with his parents, which they're not great parents, and he struggled a lot in his childhood. He ends up finding a librarian that helps him through some tough times, and then he ends up joining the army at a very young age of only 17. He lied about his age to get in the army to try and save himself from his childhood. Gone to the Woods by Gary Paulsen, highly recommend. Okay, next I have this graphic novel. It's brand new. It's called Katie the Catsitter. It's by Colleen AF Venable and illustrated by Stephanie Yue. I loved it. It was very, very funny. So Katie is our main character here. She's poor, she doesn't have a lot of money, and her best friends are going to summer camp, but she can't afford summer camp, and she's bummed about being left all alone over the summer, so she decides to start doing odd jobs around town in her apartment building, and she ends up getting hired by someone that lives on a floor above her, named Madeline. Madeline is a little unique because she has 217 cats. I'm not kidding, 217 cats. It's quite a lot of cats to take care of. And Katie doesn't even have one cat. So to take care of all of those is difficult. And she finds out that these cats are special. They are not your normal cats. They have unique talents, and they do things, and they kind of destroy everything. So at first she thinks it's going to be amazing cuddling with all these cats. Turns out it's not. They end up ordering all this pizza. They get her in a lot of trouble. And on top of all of this, trying to wrangle in all of these cats, there's a villain around her town named the Mousetress. And she is wreaking havoc. And Katie starts to wonder if Madeline, the owner of these cats, who she's cat sitting for, might be the Mousetress. Very good, exciting. If you like superheroes, if you like cats, you're going to like this book. I don't even like cats, but I enjoyed this story. Okay. Next is the first in a series. It's called Case File, Little Claws. It's the first in the Animal Rescue Agency series. It's brand new. It's by Eliot Schrefer. I really enjoyed this. It's got a lot of illustrations sprinkled throughout, so you can see that there's text and illustrations in here. Little Claws is a polar bear, as you can see on the back. We have a little trouble with Little Claws. He is stuck on an ice floe. He gets separated from his mom. So his mom calls the animal rescue, doesn't call, but gets help from the Animal Rescue Agency, who is run by Esquire Fox and her trusty sidekick, Mr. Pepper. And they head to the North Pole to try and save Little Claws from what they find out is a villain, the man in the white fur hat. So it's a great mystery story. It's an adventure story. It's pretty humorous because Esquire Fox dresses like a human and talks, which is, abnormal for an animal. It's the first in a series. And then in the back, I really liked this. The author talks about different ways that you can help animals around the world, specifically animals in the North Pole, because that was the problem in this story. He even gives resources on where you can learn more information. Case file, little clause. Really enjoyed it. Read it very quickly. It's a fast read. Finally, this is my favorite book that I want to share with you today. Could not put it down. Read it in one sitting. That's how fast. And it's kind of a thick book, but I read it all the way through. It's called Alone. And it's written by Megan E. Freeman. So Alone is about this girl named Maddie. So Maddie has divorced parents, and she has figured out with her friends a way to sneak out and have a sleepover at her grandparents' apartment because her grandparents are in Florida for the winter. And so they're each telling other parents that they're sleeping over at each other's house. So Maddie has told her dad that she's staying with her mom, and her mom that she's staying with her dad. And so she gets to go to this apartment by herself, but both of her friends end up not being able to go. So she's there alone at this apartment just when this national disaster happens. All she knows is that her town is evacuated overnight. And she didn't realize it because she was sleeping and her cell phone died. So there's no way of contacting her. And when she wakes up in the morning, she's completely and utterly alone. Everything is gone. Everyone has been evacuated. There's suitcases on the sides of the street. All the pets have been left behind. They left fast. And no one knows where Maddie is because they all think that she's with the other parent. And she can't get through. Cell phones aren't working. In fact, she actually finds barrels and barrels of cell phones. When they were evacuated, no one got to take their phone with them. So she has no way of contacting anyone in her family. She ends up finding a pet of her neighbor's, and the two of them survive together in this town alone for years. After the electricity goes off, after the water gets turned off. It's in Colorado, so there's blizzards and snowstorms, and then it's hot in the summer. It's a great survival story. And what I think the best thing about this book is it's written in verse. So it will go very quickly, which is why I was able to read it so fast, because it's written in verse. I highly recommend Alone. All right, those are my books for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed them and you're interested. You can get them via curbside pickup here. You can go on our website, put them on hold, or you can come on in and check them out. We have lots of other new stuff available for you. All of the books and the authors are listed in the box below, as well as their call numbers. So hopefully you saw something today that was interesting. If you want to know anything else about the library or any other programs, go to our website, www.lvdl.org, and check it out. See you next time.